Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hump day. It's Wednesday. Excuse me. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, everybody. Good to see y'all. Today was a little bit easy to frame out. I'll go over that in just a second. Good morning, Chris, Rich, Greasy, Shadow, Jeremy, David, Ali, John. Good morning, everybody. First, right off the bat, 9:45 a.m. news, 9:45 and 10 a.m. news. And let's not forget my opening range gap this morning. So let me throw that on here real quick. So I don't forget, we have the close and then we have the open. So opening range gap. There we go. We got it. Can't forget that today. All right. Here we go. Good morning, Enrico. Daily chart. Had another down close candle. We did not close up, but we pushed up. As you can see, we had that sell side liquidity that I had marked over here. We took that. I had the lower one marked as well, and we did not get there. We did not get there. We made this low yesterday right here, but we could not get lower before we pulled back up. So we had our open, high, low, and then close. We couldn't get lower. So now, today, I'm expecting to take that low today. So let's drop down to the 15-minute here. 15-minute, I think we've delivered pretty nicely to the buy side. We do have this area of smoothness right here. We do have the new day opening gap from today and yesterday right here, as well as the midnight opening price. So this little smoothness, equal highs here, I believe we're going to come up and take this high. We may wick up into this new 15-minute fair value gap. I don't think we do, though. We might hit this large one because it's still from this high to this wick here. It's remaining inefficient, but it may not get up there. I'm bearish overall still, so we might see a pullback up into this buy side liquidity, maybe hit this low of this fair value gap. Potentially could hit this one, but I don't think we will. The reason why also is because we already went right here, delivered right to the midpoint of it here, and dropped. There's no reason really for it to get back up there, but I can see it taking this buy side liquidity. So what do we do if we have two sides of clear liquidity? I have a clear sell side liquidity. See, I have this one right here, relatively equal lows, clear sell side, and then we have this sell side, and then we have that daily here right below previous day low. So if we have both sides of the marketplace, we have buy side and sell side, you wait for it. My model is you wait for it to take one and then go for the other. And if we backtrack to yesterday, remember, I called this buy side liquidity right here. It was looking really clean, but we delivered to the downside first. We took sell side. And look what happened in the afternoon. Is it shocker? A lot of people were shocked that price came all the way back up. I wasn't, because I had this very obvious buy side liquidity here, fair value gaps, but buy side liquidity here is very obvious. So what did it do? I said yesterday, wait for it to take one side and go to the other. Unfortunately, it took the whole afternoon or, through lunch and all that to get to the other. So then it's cleared all the buy stops here, and then we had a sell-off. So, there was nothing for me to do there. But I got to wait for it to take one side and go for the other side. So that's exactly what I'm going to do this morning. I'm going to see if we take sell side first and wait for it to take buy side, or vice versa. I prefer us to open and take buy side and go short because I'm overall bearish, but doesn't have to. But I would like to see, because this opening range gap now is less than 120 points. So I would like to see it close the gap, hit these new day opening gaps, sweep buy side liquidity here, and then look for a short. That'd be preferred. So it's pretty much my framework this morning. It was pretty clear for me. But then again, like I said, we have news too. So got to remember that. And a little obvious volume imbalance right here. So this is the 930, 931. No first presented fair value gap just yet. But we do have, like I said, obvious volume imbalance right here. And you see how price is below it, wicked up right through it. That's why I like volume imbalances, because price is typically not going to run very far away from price before reaching back through that volume imbalance. But I would prefer, like I said, to see it go up first. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what price in the market wants to do. That's pretty much it for me today. Let me glance. We'll glance at the 1 hour. Inverted this fair value gap. Excuse me. Look at that. There's a 1 hour, little 1 hour fair value gap right here where I have my buy side liquidity and new day opening gaps. So maybe it returns to that, hits it, and drops. Not much on the 4 hour. Now, I would be watching when we do come down the midpoint of this wick as well, because the wicks like that do act as a fair value gap. So right here, midpoint 237.50. Mean threshold. I'm just going to put it there. So in case we do come down, I can keep an eye on that. And yeah, that's pretty much my framework for now. Now, this is going to be more of a minor sell side liquidity. I mean, it's a sell side liquidity, but I don't like, if we don't sweep here and it just keeps going down, I don't fully expect a sweep here. Like, because we have more reason to go further down. But what could happen is it sweep here first and then look for a return up to here. Kind of clear out both sides first. But either way, when it does reach below this, if it reaches this first, I will be looking for a market structure shift and all the signals to return up. All right. Which Bissy are you talking about? On what time frame, Greasy? Good morning, Oracle. All right, tapping in that sell side liquidity there. A weekly. Right here. I mean, maybe. But today's what? Wednesday. Oh, by the way, I won't be trading tomorrow because tomorrow's the day before NFP. So I do not trade the day before NFP. Let's see. I mean, it's already, so like, look, if you look at this fair value gap on the weekly that you're talking about, it's already wicked through it. And then it came back up and hit it here. And now we hit the midpoint here. So with each hit, especially with a trading, like this is rebalanced. This is not inefficient anymore. So because of that, I do believe we could trade through this because we're very bearish because we've already rebalanced this. I mean, the question is always when, right? Like, when will it? The reason I believe this is, hey, Tyler, what's going on? Would be more of a minor is because I have an underlying narrative to go lower. Like, I like it, but I have an underlying narrative to reach down here. And this sell side liquidity on the daily chart. So it's like kind of minor, I guess you could say. But look, here we're reaching up. This is like what I want to see. Sweep, clean sweep here. And then now I believe we're going to run up through up here. So this could be our manipulation, accumulation, manipulation down, sweep sell side, and then run up to the buy side. So it's still only 9:40, but I mean, we're about to get this. We have 9:45 news too. So I hate when we're looking like my framework is lining up, but there's news. Which I'm ready to adjust my contract sizing on the fly because like I can't be doing full contract sizing with no, 40 plus 50, 60 point stops. I can't be doing that. So I got to size down if that's the case. Now, here's another thing. My underlying narrative is to reach further down. So if for whatever reason we sweep here and it just comes all the way up through buy side and I don't get anything, like if I'm not able to enter in a trade, then I wait for it to get up here and then look for that short. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. About to get another fair value gap there. Like, I like this. It's looking nice. Here we are hitting the midpoint of the opening range gap. Oh, let me mark. Where's the, I guess this would be the first presented fair value gap right here. So you see how it got inverted. So this would be a nice area to go long from. Hitting the midpoint of that opening range gap. Here's all those lows. Last week low, last month low. And news in 2.5 minutes. And that's the thing with news. Like, news should make the market do what it should do anyways, but you got to be careful because it could like wipe you out, clean you out first, and then run. So like it can overshoot, it can wick. The wicks do the damage. So that's what always has me a little hesitant with news. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not the best with just saying, oh, there's news, let me have a better stop, or it should do this anyways. I grew up skeptical with news and trading. Grew up in my trading life. So we'll see though. If price can hang around here, maybe news will make it reach down into this area. And if it does, that's where I'd be looking for support to be built right up in here. And if we can build some support, I might be looking along there. Because this opening range gap should get closed, and we should. I don't see any reason why we're not going to trade up here to the like 525 to 535 area. Maybe even higher, but we'll see. If I take this high here, take this low, throw up my range, equilibrium is right here. So these would be in the discount, trading from the discount to a premium. Now, would I take it all the way up there? Probably not, because I go for low-hanging fruit. So I'd probably take it right back up to these highs here. Midpoint opening range gap. Be the low-hanging fruit. I'm just thinking forward thinking because we'll see what the news does here in about 30 seconds. But if it just wicks down, I don't want to just hop in. I got to make sure we're going to have some support here. And it looks like a nice on the 5-minute and 15-minute. This looks like manipulation wick down. I don't want to flip to it just yet, but I'll show after here in a second. Here we go. About 7 seconds. I'll see if it brings it down and holds support. Here we go. See if we hold some support here. Well, that wasn't so bad. Yet. The 10 a.m. news will be better or more up. Hit it. Let's see if we hold some support here. I would prefer to see it come down lower here, but let's see. Gotta wait for that little delayed reaction as well. Like, it didn't quite hit it right here, but it got very close. I don't think we just hit right here. If it runs away, it runs away. But I don't think we just hit right here. I think we're going to come into it a little further. But this bar right here with this wick kind of makes it seem like that might be all that it gets here. But we'll see. Low of 404.75. This low is... Oh, it actually hit it to the tick. 404.75. And then look at this wick. Let's see if it fails to go below the midpoint of this wick. Right here. That orange line. Let's see if it fails to go close below that. There we go. There we go. Now we're in there. I'm still not going long yet. I'm waiting for it to hold support. Like, I got to be sure. Because the underlying narrative for me is short. Okay, we're hitting this lowest fair value gap there. I'm waiting. I got to see it hold some support first. You see how it's shooting down like that. You don't want to get caught in something that's just going to rip lower for that underlying narrative. If this bar closes, I'm not looking at the wick. I don't care about the wick. I want to see where the bars are closing. And I will wait. Like, I will wait for the bars to close. I don't care about the wicks right now. Because it did trade to the midpoint of the opening range gap. So with it being bearish, with the underlying narrative being bearish, that might be all it wants to do. So I gotta wait. I gotta wait. We hit that lower fair value gap, but I gotta wait for these bars to close. It's not just gonna run away. Like, it may go, but it's not gonna just run away if it goes up long. Like, we're gonna see some bars close up first. Patience. Patience. See, they're closing in the lower half of the first presented fair value gap, but it's closing in the upper half of the lowest bullish 1 minute fair value gap. So just gotta wait. Be patient. Be patient. Like, there's plenty of room to go long if it ends up holding here. But you see how it's just creeping lower. Still, I'm watching this lower fair value gap. See where, if the upper half holds, but I don't know. I don't know yet. May not. Here, let me get rid of this fib. Like, this area would be a good long if it can hold support there. That I do like this area. But I got to be sure. See? The underlying narrative is bearish. We didn't invert this one, but We traded all the way back down through it. So let's see. This might see if these upper ones hold as inversions or if we want to come back up and have another fair value gap to the long side or not. So gotta wait. 950 now. Still have that news. The higher impact news is in 9 minutes. So could be the market could be clearing the runway. We didn't invert this, but I'm not looking to long yet. Like I do like we didn't make a lower low, but I need another. If we can get back up in this area and leave another bullish fair value gap, then I may consider longing. But right now, patience. Because see, this can act as inversions now as well. So gotta see. Because if these act as inversions and then we displace lower, then I'm looking to go short. Along with that underlying narrative. Because then at that point, it may not return to all this buy side liquidity I have here until the afternoon, like yesterday. So just got to wait. Keep all options available. Good morning, Max. See, here we go. If we could trade back up here and leave us a new little imbalance fair value gap, we'd be looking pretty good. And the closer we get to that 10 a.m. news, the more the market may start to stall and wait. And this is why I like the one shot, one kill trade. Man, because it's like I'm either right or I'm wrong, and that's it. Like, okay, I like that we didn't quite invert this one, but we are trying to reach back up. So let's just gonna wait and see. Because I'm telling you, like, I can often see when people are getting killed in the market, like right now. Like maybe people took this, maybe people thought I was going long already and got stops nailed here. I mean, at this point, I'm looking for the displacement either way. Displacement up or displacement down through lows here. Because until we like displace through these lows, we're staying above this sell side liquidity that I had here. And if it stays above, then we're likely to go up. When you start seeing it accumulate below it, then you can like tell yourself, all right, we're probably not going up yet. We're going to go lower first. So that's like a kind of like a telltale sign of what the marketplace is trying to do. Like right now, we're probably, we have 5 minutes till news. So we're in this little we cleaned out the sell stops. Anybody that was, had buy stops up here, just wipe them out. And it's kind of like doing a little washout for the news in 5 minutes. So then it's going to either displace up or it'll drop below the lows and kind of accumulate here or just run straight through. Now I'll be looking at these 3 up bars as potential order block here. So watch the opening of this bar and then the midpoint somewhere in there. I want to see it take this low here first. Even if it creates this fair value gap, I want to see this low taken. Yeah, Max. As of now, it's in a sort of seek and destroy state, but I think that's just because we have that news coming up. We'll see though. J Rob. So the 2022 mentorship is my favorite and the one that I like to study the most, or the one that I did study the most. But then I did pick up little nuggets here and there from other ones, but I mainly focus on the 2022. And then if you go to the 2016, 2017 core content, month 4, he explains each PD array on their own video. So like one video for order blocks, one video for fair value gaps, one video on volume balances, and so on. So that's a high recommendation as well. So we got a little bitty fair value gap there. I'm going to hold 0 weight to that. I don't care about that little one. What I'm looking at is the open here, see if this is an order block, and then I'd look at the midpoint of it right here. So if we could trade, stay in this area, then we may look to go lower. See, now we're displacing through these lows. And I have more of a conviction that we're going to trade all the way down here, 108. Might not go straight there. 108, and then eventually the previous day low. And we'll see if we tag 1975 today or not. Remember, we have NFP Friday. So Wednesday can be, you could probably get a good setup, but Thursday, tomorrow, I'm absolutely not trading. Learned my lesson way too many times. That price action is just crap for me. All right, I'm watching to see if we get this fair value gap, but we have to be careful though, because we have that news. It's going to be high impact news in 2.5 minutes, and it could overreach. See if we get this one here in the next 18 seconds. If we get this one, I also would want, because we have news in 2 minutes, I'd want to see if we hold resistance here. Hold resistance here. We probably will, but might look to short this. We got news. 2 minutes. Be looking at the opening of this bar right here as well. Man, we got that high impact news coming. It could reach all the way back up here. It could do a few different things for sure. I have to wait. We're reaching up too high. We just rebalanced this, and we're coming right back up above this sell side liquidity. So it very well could happen that this was just another manipulation move to run buy side with the news. I don't know. I've got to wait. I'm watching the opening of this candle, but now we're 1 minute out from high impact news. We just almost inverted this one, and we're about to leave this new one. So because of that, this is looking like a potential shift to the long side. Potential, I say, but we'll see. Again, that was just another shakeout, even though this looked like it could have been a setup long, but it's just clearing out stops. Well, we still have 20-something seconds before we get this fair value gap, but I'm marking them out like in anticipation. See, hit that order block right here, though. Potential order block. To the tick. Kind of watching. Just watching everything at the moment. Got 10 seconds to see if we invert this and create this fair value gap. Dang. Look at that. Just wicked all the way down here. Oof. All right, there's news. Here we go. I'm not going to get a trade on this. But you see how like it's telling a story. This pullback here would normally be a nice looking long, but it cleared out sell stops and buy stops first with the news. Now it closed this opening range gap. I would like to see it head up here, and that's where I'll be looking for my short. So now I'm going to get rid of this stuff because there's no way I'm taking a long now. And this is a lot of minor buy side liquidity all right here as well. All right here. But at this point, I mean, we closed the opening range gap, but I think we do head. This is pretty obvious up here, the 525 to 535. So I would be waiting for that. I'm going to clear all this stuff out too. Leave my first presented fair value gap. And I'm telling you, people are getting rocked this morning. That's why I don't play the news. Like, I try not to, because it's just like, even if I have an idea of what it'll do, it's just tough because I mean, look at that. We just went from what's this low of like 319 to 4. I mean, almost 200 points. It's like 170 points or whatever in 1 minute bar. That's wild. All right. News is gone. That is wild. So now look where it gave us this new fair value gap with the news. Right there. Overlapping the first presented. So what would I like to see? Inversion. And then I look for displacement lower. Yeah, depending on what happens. Like if we reach up here, yes, I wait for it to reach up here. As long as we stay above this area, then I wait for it to get here. However, if we come back down and invert this stuff right here, I'm looking to go short. That might be all I wanted to do, was take this minor buy side, close the opening range gap, and then underlying narrative, let's go. But we'll see. We will see. Still have plenty of time to trade. Yeah, no trade in that crap. I wish it would have not stopped here, though. I wish it would have just kept going and cleared out here. And then we'd have like a big liquidity void. So no ICT guy. And look, that's going to be a battle. This is last month's low. They're overlapping, so it's all mushed, so you can't really read it. But that's last month's low and last week's low. We're bearish overall, the underlying narrative. But does it want to remain bearish? So there's a fight going on right here. I still like this area up here for a sweep. Now we're in the middle. Like, I can't do anything while we're just like sitting here in the middle. I just can't. We took sell side, so we're probably gonna go reach up higher, but like, yeah, and right here reached right down to the middle of that fair value gap. Could you have taken a long from there? Yeah. But I mean, it was coming back in pretty hard. So it could invert this. Slacking. ICT gave me the crystal ball, but only 60% of the time. Mm. Hey, I got to stick with my percentages. I don't. Oh, I left this. I don't need this volume imbalance there anymore. Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna run up here just because. I mean, this was a nice sweep, sell side liquidity, reached further. Everything looks like we should, and this was too clean. Right here, in that 25 to 35 area, there's no entry for me really. Like, I just don't have a good entry. So, and because my underlying narrative is bearish, I think up in this area would be the best looking short. So I'll just wait for it to get up there. Hopefully it does it in the next 20, 30 minutes. See, I wish this would have happened after the news, though, like, and gave an entry. Because my framework was very easy this morning. Like I said, wait for it to take one side, then go to the other side. Worked out yesterday. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that work out because I've seen it a million times. And because we took it, that's why normally I was like, here would be a good entry. But we had the news coming up and then it overshot it. You got to wait, see if it builds support. It didn't. One last sweep of the sell stops sell stops. And then, then go up. But I like this. Really looking for that long here, but man, obviously also what happened. There's no I wish this would have happened first. I mean, yeah, you could actually, it didn't even invert this lower one yet because it shot up before it even inverted that. We had this one, but it didn't trade into it yet. So there was no way I was taking that as an entry. Just don't want it to stall and take too long to get up there and then give a short this afternoon or something. So I really wouldn't be interested in any shorts right now until, like, even if it pulls back, I'm not interested until it runs this area up here. Unless it displaces, obvious displacement down below this area. Then I would consider, like, okay, we could be going back down. But other than that, any kind of bearish fair value gap or PD ray to go down, I think it'll get inverted until it either runs up here or really displaces below this area. Obviously displaces below this area. So, like, even if a fair value gap happens like right here to like a bearish one, there's zero way I'm taking that. And that's how you kind of know too, like, which ones are important, which ones will work, which ones don't work. is with the underlying narrative, the framework, and all that. Because see, like right now, like it's coming back down, right? So like we may get a fair value gap. We may get a volume imbalance right here. Zero chance I'm taking it in this area to go short. At 6:45, yeah, I don't. On the 5 minute 6:45. Oh, you're talking about that one way up there? Yeah, I don't look at that because I get my bias from the 15 minute. So that's where my buy side liquidity is based on the 15 minute. So I have no reason to mark that gap. Because the buy side liquidity on the 15 minutes is going to be way more strong than that fair value gap. So we have a little volume imbalance right here. I don't trust any discount arrays right now. Nah. I don't think that's why. I think that's more of the opening range gap here. And the last month and weekly lows. Because that 5 minute fair value gap already got traded through, like up here through the halfway point. So all of this area, the lower half of that is balanced. It's efficient. It's the upper half. So like right here, from here to this high right here, that's the inefficient piece remaining, in which is where all my buy side, where I have my buy side liquidity marked right here. So this is the only inefficient piece. All this is good. However, this is an order block. So if you measure the order block, you have the lower half here. So that could be stalling it. See, it's coming back through this. This could act as a invert. Every PD array has a functionality of an inversion. So this volume balance, it should not trade back below it. I just erased it, but I should have left it right here. So it should hold as support right here. Because it inverted it. But volume balances are also the weakest PD array. Now, here is going to be interesting. Because we had this up candle, right? And then we're immediately shooting down. If we close under this one, this potentially could be a bearish order block. Potentially. I don't know that we'll close under it, though. Well, we only have 8 seconds, so probably not. It doesn't have to be the next bar to close under it. Just if it close under it. Like no more up bars and just close under it. So yeah, this might be. Might be. We'll see. Here we go. See, now this is what I like to see. Even if we get a fair value gap right here, I don't care. I want to see price trade back through this. We already traded through the midpoint of it right here. But I want to see price come back through. I don't want to see any support being held here. See, like this wick, reach down. If it closes up, then that's a sign we're probably going to go up. Okay. So it's reaching, and see where the bars close, the bodies close. Bodies tell the story. Reaching, close. Watch the midpoint of this wick. The midpoint of that wick right here. If this candle closes up, if it's blue when it closes and it hasn't reached below the midpoint, then that's the time we're going to go up. Oh, came down through it. So let's see, we have 15 seconds. And if this closes below, I'll be watching the opening of this candle to hold resistance here. There we go. We got the close underneath. I'll be watching here in the midpoint of the body to see if we stay below. Right here, that orange line and this 435.50. So now we're in a very pivotal point where we'll see if this holds as any support and we'll see if this holds as any resistance. Whichever side fails, that's likely the direction we're going. And then I'll just wait for an entry. Well, if it does go up, I'm not going to take an entry. But if this fails, I'll wait for an entry short. If this fails and goes long, I'll wait for it to get up here and then an entry short. So basically, I'm looking for a short now today, and that's it. SMT divergence on the 5-minute. I don't really pay attention to SMT divergences, but I mean, I know I should. I really know I should. So not arguing it, but I know I should. All right, let's see if we get this placement through here with a fair value gap. I mean, it's still in an area that it could hold support, so not clear yet. Like I said, we have an underlying narrative. Here's the midpoint, mean threshold of that wick on the daily. Here's clean sell side, previous day low, and the sell side on the daily. I don't think during my session it gets all the way down here, unless we just hop into something and it just tanks. But no, I'll trade Friday, David. I'll trade Friday because by the time I trade the open, so NFP will be already out. I'll trade Friday, just not tomorrow. I just don't trade the day before. Oh, and by the way, y'all, I will be out every day next week. My son has his nationals for basketball next week, so I won't be streaming at all, unfortunately. I probably will be able to trade unless he has early game. I don't think he will, but I don't know the schedule yet. But we'll see. But I won't be trading live. I won't be streaming next week. So I will be on my VPS. So I have stable connection and don't have to worry about anything. My VPS from Edge Trader VPS. You'll see that on the flyer, which is now offering a 14-day money-back guarantee. 0 risk to you. Hey, look at that. Same thinking, Chris. Same thinking. Yeah, that first day a couple weeks ago that I traded without the VPS, I'm telling y'all, like I could have had a nice, like a 60, 70, 80 point trade, but I closed it out 35 points because I had lost connection twice before I entered that trade. So I was so nervous because it was one of those trades, where it was good, but it didn't just fly to my take profit. So it was kind of taking its time, but I was in the green and it was stalling. I was like, oh man, if I lose connection right now, I'll freak out. So I closed it. Still, I mean, 35 points. It's my minimum. So, all right, come on, market. It's slowly getting there. Oops, what did I do? Oh, hey, I didn't know that. The wheel on my mouse, the scroll wheel will zoom in and zoom out. I just found that out by accident. All right, a little volume imbalance right here. Let's see if that does anything. But again, volume balance is the weakest PD array. I mean, that's what I'm looking for, Chris. I'd be okay with a pullback first, though, too. A pullback, then displaced through a swing low. I'd be fine with that. So I don't have to have it just come down. This is, let's check this out too, y'all. 5-minute chart. Looking like we're going to invert this 5-minute fair value gap. I'm going to leave it as an inversion color for me to see. And then we'll be leaving another fair value gap here in the next 4 minutes if we close down. So potential, maybe. I'm just going to leave it invert like as an inversion here. That way, if it does invert in the next couple minutes, I don't have to flip back. I'll just be watching on my other screen since y'all can't see my other screen. And this is one of those cases where you're like, man, you're going short at the bottom. No, not really. The framework is telling me. The framework is telling me we want to go lower. So, yep, this is about to be an inversion now. Nothing but inversions here. So we got to watch, though. If we get a fair value gap here, we got to watch in case if it wants to pull back into this inversion. It could overshoot the fair value gap a little bit. We reach down to this lower fair value gap, which is the first touch. So, because remember, we shot off from it. First touch. Got to be careful because we never made it to buy side liquidity yet. So if we come back up here, you got to be careful that make sure we have resistance to go lower in case if it does want to say, forget all y'all, I'm going to buy side liquidity. Immediate rebalance, looking like it. We haven't inverted the 5-minute yet. But again, I'm not opposed to it pulling back first and then displacing lower. Because this isn't displacement here, right? This just kind of like came down. Like it didn't displace. So I'm okay like with this pulling back up into this area. Let's see some resistance and then displace down through the lows. Like I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is it using this fair value gap and it just saying, now I want to go to buy side liquidity. So this is a crucial area again, right here. Do we hold resistance and then look for displacement through this low? Then I'd be interested. We're coming up 6 minutes, 7 minutes away, 6 minutes away from 10:30. But yeah, that's what I was saying yesterday. Even if I close down the stream, if I'm close, if I see something that looks like I can enter around 1040 to 1050, then I will. Otherwise, like I need to shut it down. Like just shut it down. 1040, 1050. If it doesn't even look like something, I need to shut it down. So now, this is what I like to see. If we can get a displacement through this low, this would be a bearish order block. These two up candles, displacement through the low. Then I would like that. We'd have fair value gap, order block, off inversions. Like then it would look really, really juicy. Nice and juicy for me. And I'd probably just target. Well, depending on where my entry is. The midpoint of the daily wick. If that happens. Little fair value gap potentially. Or it might immediately rebalance. Looks like it'll rebound. Yeah. At the moment, this is high resistance liquidity conditions, potential seek and destroy conditions, and it is Wednesday before NFP. So the rule is if you have solid trades Monday and Tuesday, you should really shut it down for the week. Not even really trade NFP. You know, NFP stands for not for professionals. Professionals won't trade that day. I'm a little stubborn sometimes, but I definitely learned my lesson on the day before. So Wednesdays are always kind of like a day, like iffy, like there might be something. Red news on financial juice. Oh, yeah, tariffs. Lovely. Canada won't end tariffs unless all U.S. tariffs are lifted. Yeah, I'm not a professional, so I trade NFP day. Come on, give us that displacement. Yeah, it's looking like it's moving. It's just being a little stubborn. We did invert that 5 minute though. See, we did invert the 5 minute. Oh, wait, why is that? There we go. And we did get this one up here. Do we come back to it? I don't know. But let's see. But if you see that, like, look at all this right here. Like, I don't know if we trade above that. I don't know. Like, it's looking pretty heavy. Looking pretty heavy. And the underlying narrative is bearish. So and this is a time where I would be okay with taking the risk. I have money management in place for a reason. So if I get an entry, I'm okay with taking the risk. I got to get the entry first. No entry, no trade. All right, displace through this low. Please. Displace. Like, yeah, this held up here. Still need some. All right, if we close below this, I'd be looking at this as our order block. This in the midpoint. Got to close below. Really wanted to see it just displace down. Come on. Whoop. Don't be stubborn, NQ. Watch this one too. This up closed candle. Did not mean to click that right here. You would watch. Right. Ah, crap. Oh my God. Connect. There we go. Right here. In the body. So if I measure this whole potential order block, it hasn't closed below it yet, so it might not be an order block yet. But I want to see price stay between 317.25, 349.50 if we can close below. Come on. Displace down now. Displace. This is my last shot at a trade today. Because if we end up coming up, then that's it. I'm calling it. I'm done. But if we displace lower, then let's go. But see, also like this is really what we need inverted right here. Displace through this and invert this. So let's speak it into existence by marking it an inversion. Hasn't been working well for me lately, though. I'm like, I'm gonna mark this as an inversion to like speak it into existence, and then it feels like it's like, you know what, we're gonna use this as a fair value gap, and just go up from it, not invert. Come on, give me something good. All right, tap in midpoint. But it's not, it hasn't closed below these up candles yet, so it's not really like it's not an order block confirmed yet, so I'm just have it marked to see. Now if it does hold here and displace lower and close below, then it was a valid order block. Just don't quite know yet. Keep in mind, we have this fresh 5-minute fair value gap here as well. So that'd be another area. See if it holds resistance. If it inverts that, then we're just going to go up to buy side liquidity. Because you see how we didn't make a lower low here? Again, a higher low, higher low. We'll see. What's YM look like? Hate YM. All right. See what it does at this 5-minute fair value gap. See, it completely ignored me. It did not invert that. Just wants to hold support there. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry. What you gonna do, NQ? It's gonna tickle it. Hasn't tapped that 5-minute yet. In the lower half of all those inversions, so that's good. No fair value gap on the 15-minute. I mean, high resistance conditions, what it looks like it could be. So we may not get anything till after, if nothing happens by 11, maybe after lunch. 1 o'clock, 1:30, when the market picks back up. Crude oil inventories. All right. Tap that 5 minute, then displace down. That's your last chance, NQ. And I'm leaving you. All right. 5 minute fair value gap. Here's your chance. Now, if you invert this, if NQ inverts this, we're going up. If it holds, then we'll see. We shall see. I'll give it 3 more minutes till 10:40. Mm-hmm. That's right, NQ. I'm giving you till 10:40. Better move. I mean, look at this range. This low here, this high. Not much else in between. And what you could look at, like just like a little nugget here, is because this is a higher time frame fair value gap, this 5 minute, on the 1 minute, we could close above it, like here or whatever, and then come down. And then that 5 minute gap would be balanced. But what it would look like on the 5 minute chart is just this, a wick tapping the middle. So that's why sometimes you'll see price like over here or wherever tap the middle and come down, or you'll see the wick up through just like this and then come down. You're like, well, it traded through it. It's no longer valid. Well, no, that doesn't mean it's not valid. That means it's efficient now and it can come back down. So like here, we would see if even if one of these 1 minute bars closed above it, and as long as that 5 minute bar closes below the midpoint of it, it's balanced. It's good to go. But we'll see in 1 minute if we invert this 5 minute. Like I said, if this 5 minute gets inverted, we're likely to go long. And that's what I was saying here. This lower one held a support. Now we might run through buy side because what did we do already? Took sell side. It wasn't nice. It wasn't pretty. We didn't quite get to buy side there, but now we're likely to go to buy side. So here, let's clean this up a little bit. 5 minute fair value gap. If that gets inverted, we have this one here, the new 1 minute, potential long, right here in 20 seconds. And I'll just be right under this little swing. Well, there's not really a swing way down here, but I'll just be right up underneath this area because it should not trade back below that. There we go. We got the inversion. We got this 1 minute, so I might look to go long here. And I'll just be right under that down closed candle. Yeah, I'm going long. Stop's going to be right under this down closed candle here.
Order submitted.
I'm going to target this high.
Order submitted.
I don't believe we come back down now. It's not the best conditions as far as high resistance, low resistance, but I don't see us coming back down through this. Especially because we haven't came up to buy side liquidity yet. Could be wrong, but we'll find out. $40-point stop. I might have, should have gone in with a little less contracts, but especially this isn't an A+ setup, but that's all right. I'm pretty confident we reach back up to this high. Probably once we take this high we just made up here, if we take this high right here, I'll probably move to break even. Just to cover, just because this isn't my like best looking setup. Oh, hey, I forgot to bring this over. Let's watch this as well. It's either going to be great or bad. So if we take this high, I'll move to break even just to cover because we're at the low of the opening range gap here. I don't think we come back down, but you just never know. See if this holds some support here. All right. Let's see. It's in that inversion. Inversion's not holding up. Yeah. Not looking good. All right. Got me. Got me.
Order canceled.
I was wrong on that one. See, that's why I said I probably should have went with lower contract sizing because there's a 40-point stop. Yeah. 35 point. No, that's not bad. 35-point stop. See, I'm on my normal sizing now. 35-point stop. No, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. I'm good. But I didn't think it was going to come back below this 5-minute. Like it just inverted this 5-minute. We didn't reach up to buy side. Definitely high resistance liquidity conditions. Came back, knocked me out. Came down to this lower one. Look at that. See if it goes now. They're out to get me. So we have this swing here. This would have been the safest point, but there's zero chance I'm putting my stop there. $371.50. Oh man, look at that. What's the low of this candle? 371. The low of this one is 370.50. He tagged me. Yeah. Is there any... See, I'm trying to see if there's any reason... Other than this swing right here. That 1 minute... Like, this just did not hold up here. My thinking was we reclaimed all this area, inverted that 5-minute, left that 1 minute. I thought this would have held and us to go ahead and go through that buy side, but obviously not. So, well, it might, but it got me out first. But y'all can see, like, y'all see this is a bigger loss than what I've been having. But I'm also going to be having bigger wins than I've been having. So I sized back up, but that's because my account balances are up. So, like, I can do that. So, but it does, you know, that's why I also don't look at the dollar amount. I look at this now just for the stream, but I don't really care about the dollar amount. Like, I look at the points. And that's why I was immediately talking about how many points I risked. So, and I've done my homework on the back end of what I can risk, which is fine. Make sure everything's closed out. Yeah. Everything's closed. Cool. No ghost orders, nothing like that. Yep. Market makers saw my stop loss. It is what it is. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens. All right, y'all. I am past my time, so I got to get off here. It's probably going to go up now, but I cannot, like, it's done. I have no more, like, I'm not going to chase trades. I can't do that. You can't do that. I took my trade. I got to follow my rules. Sometimes it takes you out by a point, knocks you out, and then takes off. Hey, and it is what it is. You can't lose control over that. So, all right, y'all. I will not be here tomorrow. I'll be back Friday, and then I won't be here all next week. So, hopping off, and I'll see y'all Friday. Have a good rest of your day. Take care. Trade well. Always trade well.